So what I want from you today is I want to introduce you to a word, and I want you to take a moment and think about it. So be ready. The word is problems. What do you think? What do you feel when you hear the word problems? I like problems. I like problems. Why do I like problems? Because I can't speak the word. No, that's not the thing. Because problems are just not solved obstacles, not solved pain points that people have. And if you can bring them out, if you can relieve people from the pain points, if you can solve the problems, you can do amazing stuff. And you can make people very, very happy. And I like very happy. I like very happy people around my home. I like very people. I like happy people around my work. So what I have done as a CTO of SkyNs1 is I have asked me what have our customers, what have they for problems? And the problem that they have is they can't scale what they have. They have a good product, but they can't bring them out to many people, and they can't change the things how they want. They have 6 months of development cycles, and they need they have a really big go-to-market. And I don't want companies to have a really big go-to-market time because they want to solve problems as I, and I want to help them by solving problems. So what I know that you or your customers or a friend of you or our customers have is the problem of rapidly developing. Go to market in a day. Bring the things that they tried online, test them, and all the great stuff you can do with Google Cloud One. Because of that, I'm talking about Google Cloud One because it's the solution for all these problems, and we can go and show you how fast it works in this talk. So let's take a step back and let's go. What is a typical process? What do you really need if you have source code? I'm a programmer. I love programming. I programmed since I was 10. You have the source code. You have the code. It's the real. It's your program, and that's the first step on the slide. But then source code is a way for humans to understand what machines are doing. But machines don't understand source code. You need to bring your source code into a way that a machine, a computer, a processor can understand it. And this process is called building. And we have the Google Cloud here, and we have many products of the Google Cloud here because the Google Cloud is a really tightly integrated system. And that's one of the powers. It's also really secure, but I can't go into the depth about that today, unfortunately. So what do we have? We have the building process, and I use Google Cloud Build. So we build all the stuff in the cloud, and then we will get a container. You don't need to really understand what the container is at the moment, but you can just take it like a virtual machine. It's like you code in a small boxed machine. And with that container, we can go to the deployment. And the deployment is the phase that you want to be in. It's the phase where you can access your code, you can access your website, you can access your API, you can access just the code you have written, and it's running, and that's cool. And because it's running, the process is called Google Cloud One. And after that, that's a really, really big pain point that our customers have. Logging. Seeing what your process does. They had Linux machines on different sites on the world, and they weren't communicating, and they were logging stuff onto a files. And if you want to see where the problem was, you needed to connect to this server and go into the file, check it line by line. But now we have Stackdriver. And Stackdriver is our monitoring solution in the Google Cloud. It's integrated right away. You don't need to do anything. It's there. And you can see all the logs. You can see all the errors. You can run queries on them. You can use the API to build on the logs. So if a special error is thrown, you can automatically do a rollback if you want. And that's just a really, really awesome experience. And you can also give some people access to logs and only that part or another part. And it's a really, really engaging process. So let's go ahead and let's see what we have. We have the developer pros, we have the manager pros. I will go through all of them. You know, I need a little bit text because it's a talk. And as a short slide note here, if you have any questions, please ask them into the main chat, to the main stage chat, and I will try to bring them on if I can. Otherwise, I will ask them at the end. So what we have as pros, we have number one, pay as you go. Pay as you go, you normally know it from your electricity bill. You just put whatever you have, your PC, into the wall, and you use the electricity. And after the end, after the month, you get a bill, and you pay whatever you have used. And here, if you use nothing, you have a bill with $0. So that's really awesome. The other thing that's really awesome is you can access the platform from anywhere, from any device, from your handy, from your laptop, from your tablet, doesn't matter. And if something goes wrong, you can roll it back from there. You can also you also don't need to have a big support team. One or two guys, one guy that knows a little bit about the service can really manage all what's needed. And it's really easy. Everyone in your organization can use it. You have the possibilities of all the extra tools you get with Google Cloud. If you want to bring Google Maps in, it's really easy. If you want to get all the other features in that are built on the Google Cloud, it's very easy. And it's also very cool to see that it is built on Kubernetes and Knative. You don't need to know these words. It's just for the developers. That empowers you to bring it out of the cloud if you really need it. If you have a use case like Pala or something like that, and the cloud provider wouldn't want to work with you in the future anymore, you can go outside the cloud and you can deploy all the stuff you have done on the Google Cloud on the other side, on owner hardware, if you need to. You don't want to because it has some problems, but you can, and it's much cheaper than building all from scratch, like Pala needed to do. And you can also do some little adjustments at any time. It's not really a big thing. Let's go to the developers. What are the features that the developer really likes? Number one, they can use any programming language. It's built on Docker containers. You can build them. It's, like I said, a small VM, and then you can run it with any language. You just need to write a little script and it's done. You also get a HTTPS URL, and it's right there. You don't need to manage any certificates. It's really nice because the web is secure today, and you need the secured URLs, and it's just there. And if you need to add a custom domain, you can add it. It doesn't take very long. It's a really simple process. I can't show you that today because the domain name is servers. A little bit too slow for that. But in 24 hours, you can have your own domain pointing at the service. The other thing that many developers, but not only developers, also marketers really like is A/B tests. A/B tests allow you to just send 10% of your users to the new version. And if it doesn't work, you go to the rollback. That's the next point. And you can roll it back. You back on the old version. Nothing gets hurt. Nobody gets fired. And all users can access the program like 3 days early. And I use this feature. It's very good to have it. You can roll back in 2 minutes. You have all the history of all your developments, and you also can integrate Google Cloud Run with GitHub, for example. So your version control system, and run all the processes right away. If I push source code, you can bring it on the cloud. You can bring it to the users right away. You can bring it on a beta site if you want. It doesn't matter. It's really cool. So let's go to the live demo. I talked 10 minutes here, so I was a little bit slower than last time. Let's create a project. What I need to do here is I will create a new project. It's a website, for example. We have a website here. I want to show you a little bit. You can also do a backend development. You don't need to see all the comments that I just typed in. You will you will know them if you are a developer, and if not, it doesn't really matter. They are normal comments. And oh, the stage that is disabled. Okay, set. So what I need to do is just go through the whole process here. It's not big, so don't be surprised. I would do that if I would create a new project every time, and it's really easy. I add some other things here that we probably don't need in that little project, but that I would also add. I would create a project for a customer. So, for example, we added auto dependencies for GitHub. So if I deploy this project to GitHub, a bot will check if my dependencies are up to date and if I don't have security problems with my dependencies. Or if I just should update because a newer version is there. That's a really nice feature. So while that is installing and creating a new project, I will go to the IDE. That's my IDE. It's WebStorm from JetBrains. And I open the project. I will see if it's there. Yes, we have it here. And you can see we have all the assets here. So what I used here is Next.js. It's a server-side rendering of Vue.js. It has some extra stuff that is cool for performance. And so if you try to go to a website and you see the loading screen, you know they don't use it. If you use Next, you just go in and it's there. And after the first loading, all the other parts that you are engaging with will be loaded on the client side. It's really cool, but it's too technical. So let's go back. The project is created here, and what I need to create now is a file that's called Docker file. Like I said, it's the containerizing stuff, and you don't need to care about that. You normally copy and paste it from another project you had, or just write it down. It's not that big. And what I just do is I install all the dependencies we have on the cloud. Then I run and generate all the assets that it's static and it's running fast. And then I start the process. What I do now is I add to the config that port is the same as I would like, and it's all running fine. And we have some bugs here, but I think it's just IDE errors. So let's go to the console And what I do now is I will run the first comment to build the project. It's starting here. The logs are coming in. I can see it on the Google Cloud. It's running there. And can also see the logs right here in the terminal, and that's cool. So I don't need to access the link, but I need to run two comments here. I need to build it and I need to deploy it, like you saw in the presentation before. Now we are building it, and normally you would create a build file, a shell file or a BAT file, and then you just need to type build into the console, and it would do all the stuff that I copied in here. But you could also go with a much better version that is integrating your version control system. So Git or GitHub into your process. If I was pushing something, some new code, then the process would be run and it would automatically deploy your newest version to the production or to your beta environment. And that is a really, really cool feature because now you can see what you have changed right on time. And you can bring it to the customers and it's there. You can bring it this week, next week, today, on Fridays, even on Fridays. It's awesome. And if something would cause a problem, you can go into the console. I will open it here. I need to go with a project that I use for our clients internally, that you can really see it. I will just go to the one section, and then I would go to our website, for example. And you can see all the logs here, all the metrics. It's really engaging. You can see that's the last day. I can go with the last 30 days. For example, here we can see 50% of our users have only 13 milliseconds that the process needs to be run to bring all the data back to the user, and that's really nice. But what I can also see is I can see all the revisions. Here I have many revisions. You see, I was working hard on the website, and I have a beta site here. I could also go with a custom domain for the beta site, and I can manage the traffic to another site. If I want to go back, I can just go back and I can say, okay, 10% of the traffic should go there, and it's easy. It's really easy. We also have the logs here, and I need to check how much time I have used. Okay, I think that's quite okay. So what you can do after this is running, that has run, and now I should go with the next command. So now we have created the container. The container is there, and now we want to create the container. We want to bring it live. We want to add a service, and what we have here is we have a question if unauthenticated invocations should be allowed. So if I say yes here, everyone in the world can access the container afterwards. And that's really nice because I have HTTPS, I have an URL that I can give anyone in the world, and you can see what I have done right away. It's really, really awesome. That's just nice to see. It needs to run a little bit because it's cloud and it's secure, and needs to create revisions, you know. But if it's done once, it's really easy to see. And there it is. And now I have an URL. Now I see, because all of the length URL was cut like this. And it's loading. Ooh, it's loading. And now we have a website, CloudWorld 2021. Real. It's there. It's real. I can give you the URL right here, and you can check it out on your own. It exists. I could also now go into the cloud, into the project, You see it here. It's Cloud 2021, CloudWorld 2021 live, and I could manage domains. I could add a custom domain. I add a mapping. It's easy. You just select the process, select my verified domains, and then I could add a subdomain, for example. I won't do that at the moment, but you could, and that's all. It's really easy to do it. I could also try to change something here. I could say, what the fuck? What should I do? CloudWorld 2021 last talk, for example. Now I changed the source code. Now I would just run both of the comments again. First comment, and if that is finished, I can run the next comment and check it out after the talk if it was successful. So then the text here should be changed in CloudWorld 2021 last talk. And you say very cool, thanks, Paul. Nice to hear that. So what do I have to say here? I don't think I have anything to say, but we can go back to the slides, and I will do it now. So give me a second for that, and let me choose the right desktop. That's not the right desktop. Now I'm on the right desktop, and let's go to questions. Does anything have a question? Okay, what is the session about? Lol. That's a good question. We are talking about Google Cloud and how awesome it is. Try to change the quality to 20 HP. I think it doesn't work. Sorry for that. If the quality wasn't that great, I tried my best. No, you shouldn't see what it is. Console is just a little bit. It was a little bit small, but you don't need to see all the stuff. It wasn't that important. Okay, good. So I don't see any big questions here. And then let's go to the last slide. I'm Lars Artman. I'm the co-founder and CEO, not CEO, CTO, Chief Technology Officer of Sky and Swan. I founded the company last year with Alex Midler. He's awesome. He was a decade at Apple, and we managed together to get really whole bunch of Apple people into the company, and we are creating custom software solutions for our customers. So if you need to build a new platform, if you need to build a new marketplace, just hit me up, send me an email, call me, or LinkedIn is always a good place. We also have our website, and our website has a contact form that you can use or a live chat. And if you don't want to type all the stuff in, you have a nice QR code on the side that you can use with your phone. Just open the camera app and scan it. Yes. Have I mentioned that I'm only 17? Some people like that. Yes. So I'm finished here. Thanks for all the appreciation. How do you use the cloud if you code the DB first? What do you mean with DB? Do you mean database, or why are the changes not on the website you created? Yes, I just built it. So you see, I just built it. I haven't deployed it yet. The next comment I run, that's the deployment comment. So it will need another minute or something like that, and then it will be on the site. You can check it out in a minute. Then it should be there. So let's go back to the slides. Yes, database first. Okay, so what we normally do, databases are a thing that you really need to point on the customer. If you have something that is really engaging with people, you have many-to-many relations, so many followers, many many follower and you want to see that, you need a graph database, and you need to integrate with that. If you have something that is really text-based, you can go with document database. So it really depends what we want. But we normally go with Ktor and Kotlin-based backend. What we do, for example, is RavenDB. It's a little bit of a niche. We have integrated that for one of our customers. And we would use Google Cloud One to leverage the backend and leverage the API and all the JSON stuff that is behind this API would go over Google Cloud One. But what's the question you really want to be asked? So it is another programming language and it's a whole other project, but the process that I just shown you would be the same. So Manuel, can you give me a little bit more, or is it fine? If the answer was fine, just let me know fine, and I will check that. Let's check if in the meantime the process was done. Yes, it was done, and the update is there. Google World 2021 last talk. It's awesome. It's working fine. Nothing had gone wrong in the meantime. It's amazing. When do you have that? I'm finished here. Thanks for your patience.